Welcome to week number 23 of my 260 week project to make $1 million. I currently have $672.01 in the bank, and that's the difference between my credit card debt and the cash that I have in my bank. Today I'm going to talk about my perspectives at my job and how that's going and what direction I'm taking with that, my own business, the things that I love, the things that I want to grow, and then also, lastly, my broader mindset and sort of idea behind how I'm gonna work towards $1 million in 5 years. The job that I'm currently working at, I was working on doors and windows for a carpentry business. I helped him write estimates. I just got him 2 permits, hired a bunch of new employees, and so I helped develop and grow the business, but I still get paid hourly, and I want to put myself in a position to potentially make more money. And so I am talking to a business advisor, and this week I'll be talking to someone he's not necessarily like the owner, but I guess like co-owner or something of a roofing company, and I want to see if I can team up with them to see where I best fit in, but to be part of something bigger, and that would look like being a part of like a team that sells roofs and sells windows. So I would be in more of I would be saying like the nuts and bolts of the company rather than the person doing the specific labor. That's like my loose perspective right now. I really have to work to understand how I can help and how will I be able to put myself in the best position, and that would look like where do I have the best skills to help these companies, help these businesses grow. So whatever that is, that will be potentially, hopefully, like my role. And I don't know where that is yet, but I'm working on creating a system for streamlining the estimating process so that I can understand what to bid to make money to get windows installed, and then of course have like some profit on top of that. That's exciting stuff for me. I think that short-ish term, that's where there's going to be the most amount of money. I'm working on developing like credibility, I guess, and one of those things is a contractor's license. That will be huge. I'm working on collecting all of my records of work for the past like 10 years in construction, and then I'm going to see with that proof if I'm able to get any sort of contractor's license, whether that's residential, commercial, or lastly, if all else fails, hopefully just a license to do doors and windows. So for my own business, this is what I love doing. This is where I want to put energy to create a business completely of my own. I don't want to say it completely like that. Hopefully I can bring in people to help me to build something, but it's something that I'm passionate about and something that I want to have like more ownership over, and that is Baby Rattles. And I want to grow this into more of just a children's toy sort of business. And I think there's a lot of potential in that. There is a lot of potential in that. And so I am curious about exploring that more. And along with the woodworking stuff in general, children's toys is a direction that I'm going to move towards more specifically. But there's a lot of things that I love in woodworking that I'm going to share with you. And I'm going to start feeling this out by presenting all of these things at the farmer's market. So we got Baby Rattles, cute little thingies. Things like this is what I love making. This is going to be impossible to flip for a profit, but I don't know that people would really spend a lot of money on a wooden gun. And if you can see it, it's very detailed. It'd take forever to make and would require it to be very expensive to flip this for a profit. So this is what I like making. I have a skill in being able to make pretty woodworking things. Here's another piece of art that I love making and want to continue making. This is an abstract art piece I'm working on, and It's difficult to see right now because it's pretty messy, but it's going to be like, um, it's going to be a maple base hollow cylinder, and then this here is going to be holding it up, and there's going to be more details, but that is an art piece that I'm working on now that I'll present at the farmer's market. Those art pieces is where my heart is at. If I could, I would spend all of my time making abstract wooden art pieces and such, but I'm also realistic enough to see that that's probably not going to be a moneymaker. So I'm going to continue doing those things. I'm going to present it at the farmer's market to give myself exposure and see how people react to it, see if there is any interest in it. Whether that makes money or not, that's something that I'll continue doing because I love doing it. And if I could make money from it, well, that would be awesome. These are things I'm working on currently. Laser engravings. I think that this has potential and a selling point, especially if I can do custom work. This is like a house that I'm living in that I just did as a sample. And I want to hone in on that because there's fair potential for profit margin, and it's relatively quick to produce once I get a hang of it. I've recently sold also for my own business like 7 or 8 little books. I love writing little short stories, so getting them published and being able to sell them helps. I sold a few at the farmer's market, and as well as a market that I had like a few months ago in July. And I just ordered 10 more. Yeah, that's for my business. That's what I really love doing. This weekend, I have a friend coming over who's helping me with rattles. We're just gonna brainstorm, and he's bringing over some crystals to put in the rattle for the rattle shaking sound, which I think will just be really fun and like good way to promote the rattle more. So that's exciting. We're also planning on doing a podcast, so stay tuned. It'll be about well, I don't know what it'll be about yet. We'll have to discuss that, but I'm imagining about like our perspective and journey and thoughts behind the goal of making $1 million in a year, what that means, what that will look like, and all of that. That covers my business that I care about most, as well as my more immediate sort of income potential working with my boss and talking with a business advisor. And for bonus content, I wanted to talk about my broader mindset. And I'm going to talk about something that I talked about in my very first YouTube video. And if you stay till the end, I'll leave a link for it. It has to do with choking. In a lot of my life, I have choked. I can be pretty high performing, as in very focused, very diligent, but in a lot of high pressure situations, I've seen myself go AWire. And I'm feeling that a little bit now as well. Me personally, I need to put a lot of work and effort into staying emotionally regulated and centered so that I can keep moving forward. And this this video is here to help keep me accountable to that. I can be goal oriented, and so this goal to $1 million is really helpful for me in staying focused, but ultimately that's not the final goal. Money is a tool, and it's a good, fun goal to shoot towards. It'll help one be able to live a life that they want and potentially to give back to others. I am feeling right now a lot of stress, and this is where things matter. You know, the first couple of weeks have been easier in the sense that I've had more energy and I'm feeling more lethargic, but seeing that as part of the process, I need to be able to stay focused and centered. And in the past, I've had a lot of potential in sports. I wanted to be a pro athlete. I was never really close to that per se, but I was really making a big push, and I felt a lot of potential, but under pressure, under the competitions, I would freeze. And that's not where I want to be. And I feel that a lot in some relationships that are important to me. I just don't perform my best. I don't trust myself, and that gets projected in not trusting others and yada yada yada. But I've built a really good space for myself where I have a lot of people that I trust, a lot of people that care about me, a lot of people I can reach out to. And so this week, today, I'm trying to make a decision of potentially asking to take off a few weeks for myself to focus on these things. I'm working every day doing manual labor, and that produces an income, but it doesn't necessarily help me grow bigger. I'm learning how to do doors and windows better, which is really important if I choose to move in the direction of selling and helping build a company that installs doors and windows. It'll be like imperative that I can do these things very well. But at the same time, I think it might be helpful for me, for my mental health at the end of the year, to focus on how I'm gonna operate in that position. Gosh, I'm tired. Ooh, or I'm not tired, I'm just, I'm getting disoriented a little. So it'll help me if I take some time off to cool my nerves, get a better plan, get more organized, and come back at the new year guns a-blazing. So a lot of important questions coming up that I need to answer or something. Sorry, this is messy because disorganized, but just checking that box. Making this weekly video is one of those things that are keeping me accountable, and one of the things I'm committed to doing. So hope you liked the video. Like and subscribe, check out my other videos, and stay tuned for next week. I think I'll have a fun podcast coming up. So peace, stay cool.